Hi there, my name is Dave. This is a video titled Food Reality. I hope from seeing this you look at food in a brand new way. This is a poem I wrote on that subject. Afterwards I'll explain what I mean by each verse. When you put food into your mouth, do you relish every bite? Or do you force it between your lips with all your might? If I was to cook for you, would you identify and love every flavour? How much do your feelings influence what you savour? Imagine yourself sitting in a spa on a luxury cruise liner eating certain foods. Now imagine yourself in a dirty shed eating exactly the same foods. Somehow the food tastes different. Why? It's because where we eat affects our taste buds. That's why. These days, many people have anorexia. Many have obesity. That's due in a large part to our lifestyle. Do you agree? What we see in the mirror can be confronting at times. Those who mock our appearance should be punished for their crimes. Does food taste any better when you eat it with someone who you love? Or is that just an ancient myth sent from above? What is the fascination and attraction we have with a romantic, delicious dinner? Call me cynical, but the idea of seeing someone shove the food into their mouth doesn't exactly make me a grinner. Watching, even feasting on these videos of mine is proof of your intelligence. That's a very good sign. You may think that this man, David, is a guru, a very calm sage. However, there is one aspect of life which really does put me into a rage. You know what? The other day I hand-fed a kangaroo. He didn't need a watch to tell him when to eat. If you only eat when you're hungry, you don't need to. Let's look at verse 1 again. When you put food into your mouth, do you relish every bite? Or do you force it between your lips with all your might? If I cooked for you, would you identify and love every flavour? How much do your feelings influence what you savour? We need to eat to survive. That's a fact. However, it's an intriguing mystery how some people really love to eat. Every bite produces unmistakable joy for such people. It's as if it's a sort of heavenly experience. They'll tell you, whether you want to hear it or not, every detail about what they ate and how they ate it. For some people, food is regarded merely as something to be consumed. They know they have to eat, so they eat. It's not regarded as a joy, but more as a chore. After they eat, they struggle to tell you what they ate, or even if they had any pleasure at all about the experience. Now tell me, which category do you come into? If I cooked for you, what I'd cook, how I'd cook it, and how long I'd spend cooking it would depend on how I feel about you. Chances are that if I spent a long time preparing a special meal for you, and you ate it in 2 minutes, with the food barely touching the sides of your mouth, I'd never cook for you again. In fact, come to think about it, I'd never even talk to you again. However, if you were to take your time, relishing every bite, with your taste buds in a state of pure ecstasy, and you told me about how the combination of food and flavours was almost magical, chances are I would cook for you again. Our feelings do influence a lot of what we eat and how much of what we eat. You might be having a really good day and feeling positive about life. If so, it's likely you'd spend extra time preparing a nice, healthy meal. On the other hand, if you're feeling frustrated or sad, for example, you mightn't even feel like eating at all. And if you do, you might have unhealthy junk food, which sums up fast food. If you're struggling, don't be afraid to let others know how you're feeling. They might even cook for you for once. Verse 2 revisited. Imagine yourself sitting in a spa on a luxury cruise liner eating certain foods. Now imagine yourself sitting in a dirty shed eating exactly the same food. Somehow the food tastes different. Why? It's because where we eat affects our taste buds. That's why. Now, you seem like a quite intelligent person to me. Sure, you're not a genius, but you display your intelligence in many ways. However, look, I'm really confused here. How could someone so smart as you allow yourself to believe that food tastes different depending on where you eat? I've got a couple of theories. One is those who want you to spend a lot of money on cruise ships or in a luxurious restaurant are manipulating your imagination. Or to put it simply, conning you into spending a lot of money. You think, you dream, you imagine, oh yes, that food with an exotic romantic name would be so wonderful, so beautiful. It's there waiting for me to eat it. Without that culinary masterpiece, spending hour upon hour massaging my mouth and entire digestive system, my life would be a waste of time. Would be the ultimate experience. And if I have to pay a lot of money for it, well, so be it. Now, seeing that you are intelligent and you do have a great imagination, when you're eating in a dirty shed, or maybe just at home, wherever it's not dirty. Now remember, from my last video, you should always eat at a table, by the way, not on a lounge or in bed spreading crumbs everywhere. What you can do is imagine that you are eating in a spa on a cruise liner or at a big name restaurant. Eat that food with your eyes closed if you like. Let your imagination loose. Yes, yes, yes. When you use your imagination, food does taste better, regardless of where you eat, and you'll also save a lot of money. Now, my second theory as to why food tastes, at least appears to taste different depending on where you eat, depends on your taste buds. They are such hypersensitive creatures. One moment they're in agony, the next moment they're in ecstasy. They've had their own way for too long. It's about time psychologists, instead of spending time focusing on people's brains, devoted more time to counselling people's taste buds. Taste buds are like naughty children. If you don't want to spend money on psychologists, have a firm talk by yourself to your taste buds, saying things like, listen, I respect your sensitivity, but I'm fed up with all your hypersensitivity. Now calm down. Now grow up. Control yourselves. By telling your taste buds that, you really are proving your intelligence. These days, many people have anorexia. Many have obesity. That's due in a large part to our lifestyle. Do you agree? What we see in the mirror can be confronting at times. Those who mock our appearance should be punished for their crimes. When you're feeling depressed or are really struggling emotionally, it can be hard to get motivated to eat at all. A couple of times I was like that. I chose to never eat again, to starve myself to death. I hated food. I hated how I looked. I put towels over my mirrors. I hated life. It was hell. When it comes to anorexia, I automatically think of a beautiful lady with a great singing voice. She had so much going for her. What a future she had. She was famous, she was rich, a truly lovely lady. I see her performances on YouTube most days. When I do, her beauty, her voice, her charisma always makes me smile. But at the same time, I feel sad. Sad that she died at the age of 32 due to anorexia. Her secretive behaviour around food, her preoccupation with her body shape, weight and appearance took its toll. Don't let that happen to you, please. Please. When we see images of people on social media, we see distorted images. They can appear so slim, so beautiful compared to us. And it can be so hard, painfully hard, to not think, I wish I was like that. I'm so ugly compared to them. Not only that, but we tend to try to look like those distorted images by perceiving food as an obstacle in our path to looking good. We see food as the enemy. We believe food makes us fat, so we don't eat it. Sad, but true. Now you're aware of that. How about you put a sticker on the screens with the words distorted image written on it? That action may save your life. With regards to obesity, it's important to replace time spent staring at a screen with time doing exercise. Exercise is a great way to make new friends, real friends. And it's a great, not only for your body, but for your mind as well. If you don't exercise, regardless of what you eat, you won't lose weight. I'll say that again. If you don't exercise, regardless of what you eat, you won't lose weight. A low-fat, high-fibre diet without junk food and soft drink, or junk juice as I prefer to call soft drink, will also help. Now, in my own case, with the support of counsellors and friends, and through hard work, I was able to develop self-love and to be aware that regardless of how I'm feeling, that I will give my body the foods, the nourishment, the care and the love it needs and deserves. That's an attitude you can adopt too. You can. Let's have a look at verse 4 now. Does food taste any better when you eat it with someone who you love? Or is that just an ancient myth sent from above? What is the fascination and attraction we have with a romantic, delicious dinner? Now, call me cynical, but the idea of gazing at someone shoving food into their mouth doesn't make me a grinner. When you eat with someone who you love, it doesn't really matter what you eat, so long as you eat together. True love is more about spending quality time with that special person rather than the quality or quantity of food you consume. I believe that's something wedding celebrants need to stress before allowing a couple to be called husband and wife. If, like me, you are a romantic type, as you would have seen from these videos, what you could do with your partner is to prepare meals together. Together then, sitting at a table, put spoonfuls of food into each other's mouths. Food does have more of a romantic, sensuous quality than you realise. One of my favourite meals is Dave's Delight. It consists of potato slices slowly heating in extra virgin olive oil on a fry pan. When it's nearly ready, I add some honey on top to make it nice and crisp and sweet. A bit like me, I suppose. While it's cooking, I prepare a bowl of crushed pineapple and mandarin pieces, and I put that on a plate once the honey-topped potato slices are ready. I love that meal when I have it by myself. But when the time comes to have it with a lady I adore, hopefully very soon, I know I'll enjoy that meal, every mouthful of that meal, so much more. Seeing her eyes and lips open and close in unison with every mouthful of Dave's Delight will be truly a sight to behold. You should come along and watch. I know what you're thinking. You are thinking, what if this lady doesn't like your meal? Well, to answer your question, I'd be heartbroken, shocked, devastated for a few seconds, and then I'd shove all her food onto my plate and she can have a tin of sardines. Ready for verse 5. Watching, even feasting on these videos of mine is proof of your intelligence. That's a very good sign. You may think that this man, David, is a guru, a very calm sage. However, there is one aspect of life which really puts me into a rage. What is that? I hear you say. Surely that can't be true. Well, yes, it is. Let's not keep it any more a secret between me and you. The aspect of life which puts me into a rage is when companies, whether they sell groceries, fast food, or so-called health foods, deliver food to your door. How dare they? Surely, regardless of your age, you agree that by actually going, preferably walking to a place which sells food, talking to the real people there, you might even catch up with an old friend, the workers and the customers there, choosing your food and bringing it home for you to prepare is far, far more healthy than being extremely lazy, pressing a couple of buttons on a phone and having the food dropped on your doormat. Now, some companies make a lot of money dropping food at your door. They have to make a lot of money, otherwise they wouldn't advertise so much. Next time you see one of those advertisements and are tempted to waste money on their so-called service, stop for a moment and say, no, I'm not falling into their trap. I'm not eating their crap. There's plenty of fruit, vegetables and meat I can choose from. That's the attitude to have. You don't need to take hours preparing a meal. Use your imagination, your wisdom, and I'm confident you can come up with your own ideas. Speaking of companies, oh dear. Some produce various mixtures which are said to help you lose a lot of weight. In their advertisements, again, they show distorted images to try to fool you into spending a lot of money for products which work extremely well, for their bank balance, not for your health. Understand? As I've said already in this video, and will do more in my next video on exercise, when you combine exercise with varieties of healthy food, you don't need to waste money on products or mixtures to try to help you lose weight. Do you? Do you? Follow my advice and you will be the guru. You will be the very calm sage, not me or anyone else. Before I talk about my final verse, I'd like to comment on a couple more aspects of food reality. The first is we need to be very careful about what drinks we have during the day and night. The most logical suggestion I can offer is to drink 1 to 2 litres of water every day. Now sure, drinking water may seem very boring to you, but the fact is we need to drink water to survive, just like we need to breathe to survive. If you're feeling very hungry, drink a glass of water instead. Or as more commonly suggested, drink water before a meal. Now trust me, it works. Now when it comes to so-called energy drinks and sports drinks, which retailers say will help you to run a marathon in under 2 hours or look 30 years younger, do your body and bank balance a favour and save your money. Drink water instead. If you feel you must have a drink of coffee, okay, I'll allow you that, as long as you don't drink at night time. Otherwise it might stuff up your sleep. As for alcohol, it's disgusting, shameful, and unacceptable how so many past and present sportsmen at a top level, especially in Australia, with talents most of us could only dream of having, think it's really clever to get drunk. They play a match. And then they get drunk. They abuse their bodies. They abuse women. That's not being clever. That's being stupid and dangerous. And they deserve to face the consequences of their actions. Don't look up to such scum who give Australia such a bad name. Look down on them. If you play sport, good on you. Now trust me, you can celebrate a victory or commiserate a loss without resorting to drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a poison, an addiction you and your children don't need. Drink water instead. The other comment I'd like to make relates to diets. If your doctor says you're allergic to a certain type of food, such as nuts, then go by their advice and avoid such food at all costs. However, if you follow some diets because they are trendy and all your friends are on them, and someone on social media says, this diet will help you sleep, improve your sex life, and make you look stunningly beautiful, you're not being wise. Don't fall into their trap. What is being wise is when you open your eyes to a world of fresh fruit and vegetables and meat. Combine them in your own special way. Relish every bite. Say no to fast foods, fad diets, alcohol, and soft drinks, and open up your mind and mouth to the sensuous, very real pleasures which are provided by eating healthy food. You can do it. Let's look at that final verse. The other day, I hand-fed a kangaroo. He didn't need a watch to tell him when to eat. If you only eat when you're hungry, you don't need to. Experts recommend a healthy breakfast. It's a great start of the day. But what happens if you get hungry? Between breakfast and lunch can seem like a long way. You can choose to drink some water, to not eat, or have a healthy snack. They're wholesome choices to make. They will keep you on the right track. Eating a healthy type of lunch, not fast food junk. Eating fast food shows how low you've sunk. Dinner time comes. Yes! Have a variety of foods. After all, a balanced diet is great for your body and your moods. After dinner, clean your teeth and smile. Avoid after dinner treats. After all, they make you less agile. Following that routine is a healthy routine to possess. Children should learn that routine off by heart if they want to have success. So now, how well have you been listening to this video? I've got a little quiz for you. Ready? Question 1. Do your feelings influence what you eat? A, yes. B, no. The answer is yes. Question 2. How would you describe your taste buds? A, friendly and helpful, or B, hypersensitive creatures? The answer is hypersensitive creatures. Question 3. When you look at social media, what do you see? A, distorted images, or B, accurate images? The answer is distorted images. Question 4. This may be a little bit tricky for you. Let's just see how intelligent you are. If you were told this is your last day on earth, what would you do? I'll give you 10 seconds. I don't know about you, but if someone told me that, I'd ask for a second opinion. Or what I could do is take some friends and go off to Mars. They've got better weather than we have. Question 5. What was the name of my favourite meal I mentioned in verse 4? A, David's dinner. B, Dave's delight. Or C, Dave-O's dessert? The answer is, I've forgotten now, Dave's delight. Nats, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've got your own favourite recipe or healthy food, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. We could even share a special meal together. Don't worry, I won't bite. For further details on knowing how to contact me, see the bio below. Thanks again.